Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. We are so glad you are joining us today. We have a topic that a lot of people find confusing, but once you hear our explanation today, you are going to wonder why it ever confused you at all. It is actually very logical once it clicks.
That is right. Today we're talking about three words: migrate, emigrate, and immigrate. All three words involve moving from one place to another, but each one looks at that movement from a different angle, and that's the key to understanding all three of them.
We're going to cover what each word means, how they are different from each other, how to use them in sentences, the noun and adjective forms that go with each one, common mistakes, real conversations, and a quiz at the end. Stay with us all the way through.
Let's start with the simplest of the three: migrate. This is the most general word. To migrate means simply to move from one place to another, usually on a large scale or over a significant distance. It does not tell you whether you are leaving a place or arriving at a place. It just describes the movement itself.
Migrate is used for both people and animals. In fact, you probably hear it used with animals very often. Birds migrate south in the winter. Whales migrate thousands of miles every year. Wildebeest migrate across the plains of Africa. The movement of animals from one region to another as the seasons change is called migration.
For people, migrate is used to talk about moving from one region or country to another, often for work, better opportunities, or because of difficult conditions. Many people migrated from rural areas to cities during the Industrial Revolution. Thousands of workers migrate to different countries each year looking for better jobs.
The important thing about migrate is that it's neutral about direction. It doesn't tell you which country someone is coming from or going to. It just says movement happened. It describes the journey itself without focusing on the starting point or the destination.
Now let's talk about emigrate. Emigrate focuses on the leaving side of the movement. When you emigrate, you leave your home country to go and live in another country. The focus is on the country you are departing from. You emigrate from somewhere.
Think of the letter E at the start of emigrate as standing for exit. You are exiting your country. You are leaving. She emigrated from Poland to the United Kingdom. He emigrated from India to Canada. My grandfather emigrated from Italy to Australia in the 1950s. The focus in all of these sentences is on where the person came from and the act of leaving that place.
The noun form is emigrant. An emigrant is a person who has left their home country to live elsewhere. My grandmother was an emigrant from Portugal. Thousands of emigrants left the country during the famine. The adjective form is emigrant as well, used before a noun. The emigrant community kept their home country traditions alive.
Emigrate is always used with the preposition from. You emigrate from a country. You never emigrate to a country in standard usage. If you want to mention the destination, you still say emigrate from, and then add where they went. She emigrated from Mexico and settled in the United States. The from is the important preposition here.
Now let's talk about immigrate. Immigrate focuses on the arriving side of the movement. When you immigrate, you arrive in a new country to live there. The focus is on the country you are entering. You immigrate to somewhere.
Think of the double I at the start of immigrate as standing for into. You are going into a new country. You are arriving. He immigrated to Germany from Syria. They immigrated to New Zealand 10 years ago. She immigrated to the United States and became a citizen. The focus in all of these sentences is on the country being entered and the act of arriving and settling there.
The noun form is immigrant. An immigrant is a person who has come to live in a new country from another country. She's an immigrant from Vietnam. The city has a large immigrant population. The adjective form works the same way. Immigrant communities often maintain their language and culture for generations.
Immigrate is used with the preposition to. You immigrate to a country. This is the opposite of emigrate from. You emigrate from your home country and you immigrate to your new country. The same person can be described with both words depending on which angle you're looking at the movement from.
This is one of the most important things to understand about these three words. The same person, the same journey, the same move can be described using any of the three words. It simply depends on your perspective and what you want to emphasize.
Let us use a clear example. Imagine a woman named Anna who was born in Brazil and moves to Canada to live permanently. From Brazil's perspective, Anna emigrated. She left Brazil. From Canada's perspective, Anna immigrated. She arrived in Canada. And in general terms, describing the movement overall, Anna migrated. She moved from one country to another.
That single example captures everything. Emigrated from Brazil, immigrated to Canada, migrated from Brazil to Canada. Same person, same journey, three different words depending on which part of the story you're focusing on.
Now let's also look at the noun forms more carefully because these come up constantly in everyday English and in the news.
The noun forms are important to know. Migration is the general noun describing the process of moving. Emigration is the noun for leaving a country. Emigration from Ireland was very high during the 19th century famine. Immigration is the noun for arriving in a country. Immigration to the United States has shaped the country throughout its history.
The people words are equally important. A migrant moves from place to place. An emigrant is someone who has left their home country. An immigrant is someone who has arrived in a new country to live there.
Migrate and migration. Many professionals migrate to larger cities for better opportunities. Climate change is causing many species to migrate to cooler regions. Migration patterns have shifted significantly over the past century.
Emigrate and emigration. He emigrated from South Korea to pursue a doctorate abroad. Emigration rates fell once the local economy improved. The emigrants who left in that era faced enormous challenges.
Immigrate and immigration. They immigrated to Australia and built a successful business. Immigrants often contribute enormously to their new countries. Immigration procedures can be complex and time-consuming. Mistake number 1, confusing immigrate and immigrate. This is the most common mistake. Learners sometimes use one when they mean the other. Remember, emigrate is about leaving. Immigrate is about arriving. My family emigrated to France is wrong if your family moved to France. Emigrate means they left France. The correct sentence is, my family immigrated to France, meaning they arrived in France to live there. Or if they came from France, then emigrated from France is correct.
Mistake number 2, using the wrong preposition. Emigrate goes with from, immigrate goes with to. A learner might say, she emigrated to Canada. That sounds wrong to careful speakers because emigrate focuses on leaving, not arriving. The natural sentence is, she emigrated from her home country, or she immigrated to Canada. Do not mix the prepositions with the wrong verb.
Mistake number 3, using migrate when emigrate or immigrate is more precise. Migrate is fine in many contexts, but sometimes it makes your sentence less precise than it could be. If you are specifically talking about someone leaving their country permanently, emigrate is the more precise and informative word. If you are specifically talking about someone arriving in a new country, immigrate is better. Use migrate when you want to speak generally or when direction does not matter.
Mistake number 4, getting the noun forms mixed up. Some learners say an emigration when they mean an immigrant, or an immigration when they mean an emigrant. These are different kinds of words. Emigrant and immigrant are people. Emigration and immigration are processes or concepts. He is an immigrant, not an immigration. Emigration from the country is rising, not emigrant from the country is rising.
Mistake number 5, thinking these words only apply to people. Migrate and migration are regularly used for animals, birds, fish, and even data in computing. Computers migrate data from one system to another. Birds migrate south in winter. Do not limit these words to human movement only.
Mistake number 6. Pronouncing immigrate incorrectly. Some learners say immigrate with the stress on the second syllable. The correct stress is immigrate with the stress on the first syllable. The same applies to immigrant, immigrant, and immigration, im-me-gray-shun. Getting the stress right makes you sound much more natural and confident.
6 mistakes and 6 clear fixes. These are the exact errors that come up again and again, and now you know how to avoid them.
Now let us hear 2 short conversations so you can see these words working naturally in real situations.
First conversation. 2 friends catching up after a long time apart.
I heard you've been living abroad for a while now. When did you leave?
About 4 years ago, I emigrated from the UK in the spring. I had been thinking about it for years and finally made the decision.
And how has it been settling in your new country?
Honestly, it has been wonderful. When you first immigrate to a new country, everything feels overwhelming. The language, the culture, the paperwork. But after a year or so, it starts to feel like home.
Do you think you'll stay permanently or come back one day?
I think I'll stay. I have met so many other immigrants who have built beautiful lives here. The migration experience changes you. You see the world differently.
Did you notice how naturally all 3 words appeared? Emigrated from the UK because she was talking about leaving. Immigrate to a new country because she was talking about arriving. Migration experience used generally to describe the whole journey.
Second conversation. 2 colleagues discussing a news article.
Did you read that article about population changes in Southern Europe?
Yes, I did. The emigration rates from some of those countries have been very high over the past decade. A lot of young, educated people are leaving.
I know. And at the same time, immigration to Northern European countries has increased significantly. The same people emigrating from one place are immigrating to another.
Exactly. And the overall migration patterns across the continent have changed completely compared to 50 years ago. It's quite fascinating from a historical perspective.
There's a lot of debate about immigration policy, too. How countries manage the arrival of immigrants is a huge political and social question.
That second conversation showed how emigration, immigration, and migration are used in a serious, real-world discussion about demographics and politics. All 3 words, all used correctly and naturally in context.
Quest time. 5 questions. Take a moment to think before we give each answer.
Question 1. My parents left Nigeria to live in the United Kingdom. From the UK's perspective, did they emigrate or immigrate?
Take a moment. The answer is they immigrated. From the UK's perspective, they arrived in the UK. Immigrate focuses on arriving in the new country. From Nigeria's perspective, they emigrated.
Question 2. Which preposition goes with emigrate and which goes with immigrate?
Emigrate goes with from. You emigrate from a country. Immigrate goes with to. You immigrate to a country. She emigrated from Japan. She immigrated to Canada.
Question 3. A learner says many people are immigrating from their home countries to find work. Is this correct?
This is a tricky one. Immigrating from is incorrect because immigrate goes with to, not from. The correct sentence would be, many people are emigrating from their home countries, or many people are immigrating to other countries to find work. You cannot say immigrating from.
Question 4. What is the difference between an emigrant and an immigrant?
An emigrant is someone who has left their home country. An immigrant is someone who has arrived in a new country. The same person can be both. They are an emigrant from the country they left and an immigrant in the country they arrived in.
Question 5. Which of the 3 words, migrate, emigrate, or immigrate, can be used for both animals and people?
The answer is migrate. Birds migrate, fish migrate, people migrate. Migrate is the most general of the 3, and it applies to all kinds of movement, including animal movement. Emigrate and immigrate are generally used only for people.
And that's everything for today. We really hope this episode gave you complete clarity on migrate, emigrate, and immigrate. These words appear in the news, in conversations, in academic writing, and in everyday life constantly. Now you know exactly which one to use and why.
Your practice task. Write 3 sentences. One using emigrate correctly with the right preposition, one using immigrate correctly with the right preposition, and one using migrate to describe either animal or general human movement. That small exercise will lock everything in.
Leave your questions in the comments. We love hearing from our listeners, and your questions help us plan future episodes.
Share this episode with someone who is learning English. Every share helps us grow and reach more learners, and that means everything to us.
Take care of yourself. Keep practicing every day. Every word you learn with real understanding stays with you for life.
We'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye and keep going. You are doing brilliantly.